always be
Mhm.
humble, right? Live and stay
Yes.
and lean into humility.
Mhm.
You don't have to,
Mhm.
and if you stay in your lane, there will be no traffic.
Welcome to the Sweet Taboos podcast. This is your favorite mother-daughter duo, Ayan and Tiffany.
We are bringing the sweetness to taboo topics. Stay tuned.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sweet Taboos. This is your host, Ayan Watson.
And I'm Tiffany Leo, your co-host. How everyone doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm pretty blessed. We have a very special guest today. She is an educational equity advocate and leader. She is a connector who develops frameworks that catalyze change. Miss Jameelah, welcome on today.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you
Welcome.
for coming. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling grateful. I'm feeling well. I'm also tired, but a little nap will strengthen that right on up. The nap ministry is strong over here, so I'm grateful.
I'm grateful to have you here today. We are talking about some really deep stuff today also. We're going to touch on boundaries and the family estrangement and toxic relationships. Raise your hand if you've ever been in a toxic relationship. And hello? We've all been, we've all been there. So I'm so excited to talk about these because, like I said, we've been doing podcasting for about 2 years now,
Yeah.
and we're just now getting to the meat of what Sweet Taboos is meant to be. The vision is to have those hard conversations, the ones that make us so uncomfortable to the point of, we're about to run away and we just don't want to face those things. But after we get through that uncomfortable moment, we're much more stronger in the mind.
Yeah.
And we're still ready to move forward through other hard conversations, because no matter how old you get, you're still going to have those hard conversations with, your parents, your kids, whoever, your boss. It's just, that's a part of our life. So I'm so glad to have you join us on the podcast.
Yeah.
So can I ask,
Please.
why did you choose these two topics, boundaries and the family estrangement and toxic relationships?
Well, one, I chose it because it's a journey that I am on currently, right? On creating those boundaries and the toxic relationships. I stay in a toxic entanglement. Okay. It's like it calls me and I'm like, oh, toxic. I want that. Yeah. It's a mess. And so that is one of the reasons that I chose that. And then the other reason is because I've seen what it looks like when it actually works successfully and how beautiful it is for the relationship, for the other person. And I was like, oof, okay, I aspire to that. How did you get there? Let's talk about that. So yes, that's the reasons why I took.
And right before we get into that, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself if the listeners and viewers have not ever met you before?
Absolutely. So I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, Southern California, Cali girl here. I went to Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, Florida, which is an HBCU. I majored in finance and accounting, and I worked for Bank of America and Washington Mutual all through high school and then through college. And then after I worked for the Obama administration, and I worked for Representative Kareem Brown. So I worked at the White House and I worked at the Capitol. I lived in Maryland, in Laurel and New Carrollton, and I worked in DC. I've also lived in Tampa, Florida. I lived in Chicago, Illinois with the bank. I moved back to LA with the bank. And then I decided to switch careers. And so I left the banking industry and joined education. And so I became an AmeriCorps Vista. Vista stands for Volunteer in Service to America. I was too old to do the other program. So they were like, okay, we can put you in Vista. And so I served in the capacity of a college and career program manager for LAUSD, Los Angeles Unified School District. So I did that for some time. I worked for an organization called LAEP, Los Angeles Education Partnership. They're an amazing group. And then I left there and I worked for a place called Home, still in education. And I said, I need
Mm-hmm.
more education about education. So I went back to
Mm.
school. And so I got my MBA and I got
Mm.
my master's in teaching. And that is when I
Okay.
transitioned into the classroom. So I taught high school, I taught middle
Ooh.
school, and then I became a principal. And
Wow.
we kind of did that. The school is still around in Compton, California. And I'm very, very grateful. If you don't know Compton, you know Kendrick. That's where he's from. That's where the school is.
Okay.
So
Oh, I
there's
Okay.
didn't
that.
know that. I
Mhm.
Yeah,
didn't
I
know
didn't
Kendrick
either.
Lamar.
He's from Compton, California.
Oh,
So
wow.
Oh.
that is
Okay, that's new.
yeah, so that's where the school is. And then
Mm.
I got into a fellowship called Education Pioneers, and that's what brought me to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I did not want to go to Northern California. It's cold and I'm not a fan. And so I said, let me try Oklahoma. Didn't know it gets winter
What?
here as well, which is insane.
Oh.
So I
What?
came here and I worked for a place called Home doing social and emotional learning. Not a place called Home. Let me move on
Mm.
back. I worked for the Opportunity Project here, and we did social and emotional learning here within
Uh-huh.
TPS, Tulsa Public Schools. And then when I left there, I got a wonderful opportunity to become the ED for the African American Leadership Academy here in Tulsa, and then
Mm.
also doing some education consulting as well for a national education nonprofit called TNTP. Lots of acronyms. And
Community.
throughout of all that, I have learned boundaries, and I've learned my most important boundaries
Oh.
from my dog,
Uh-huh.
which is interesting enough. I got my dog when I was here from the SPCA. His
Uh-huh.
name is Duke. I love him to pieces.
Uh-huh.
And he's an older dog.
Duke.
Yeah, it's my baby.
Okay.
And he's an older dog and he's a hound dog. And if you know anything about hounds, they are very
Uh-huh.
independent. So they are
Mm.
not used to like you walking them, they walk you. So you
Oh,
have to make
good enough.
boundaries with them very quick and early. Because they, if you do
Mm.
not, they will let you know where to go, how to get there. And so I've I've
Mm.
I've learned quite a bit about that. I'm an Enneagram 2. I am a blue on the the true colors. I'm an ENFP, a Myers-Briggs. So that lets you know a little bit about my personality.
Yes.
Wow.
You
Yes.
are, wow, well accomplished.
Thank
Very
you.
To say
much.
the least.
Thank you. I'm
To
very
say the
grateful.
least.
Very grateful. Yes.
Mm.
I do have a large family. I will say that as well. So I have 9 other
Mm.
siblings. I'm 9 of 10. So I'm the youngest girl.
What?
So it's a lot
Wow.
of us.
You're
So there was like also boundaries and toxicity in families.
Hey.
And my I was raised by my
Mm.
stepmother. Did not know that was not my real mother until I was several years old. And so yeah. So I know quite a lot about this topic.
Wow.
So
Mm.
here we are.
Well, ooh, I have so many other questions based off
Yes.
just who you are, but I do want to make sure that everybody gets what they came here for, is to talk about the boundaries and the toxic relationships and choosing ourselves. And one of my things is that one of my questions is, why do we feel like we need the permission of other people to choose ourselves and what's best for ourselves? And I think it does begin in our early stages of indoctrination, or, just your upbringing can become a detriment in some parts of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you how have you navigated getting past not being a people pleaser and feeling that you can do what you want and choose yourself without asking someone else for permission?
Yeah, I'm still on that journey currently. I am, you know how they have the 12-step
Mm-hmm.
program to celebrate recovery? Yep, I'm on
Yeah.
step 2 of the people pleasing recovery because it is
Mm.
a journey. For
Very much
sure.
Mhm.
so.
Um, but one of the things that I started to do was I started to take solo trips and kind of
Mm.
really
Oh
be with
my
myself
gosh.
because, yeah, because I think it's
Mhm.
hard for people to choose themselves so they don't know themselves. And when you don't
Hey,
know somebody, you don't want to spend
Ooh.
time with them. So it's like,
Oh.
why would I want to be up here
that
alone with you?
one.
I don't know you, girl. You like, you right. let's get to know each other.
Okay.
So I
Oh.
take month-long trips every year, and I go alone, and I leave the country, and I pick a place, and I go, and I'm there,
That's
and I'm there
incredible.
alone with myself. Um, and thank you so much, and I'm very grateful to do it. And I spend a lot of time in reflection. Well, Jameelah, why did you decide to wear that versus that? Well, why do you feel like you need to wear makeup? Why you say you look like a naked mole rat without your eyebrows? What's going on with this weight?
Mm.
Why you feel like like I go deep, right? Like, why you don't like your
Mm.
complexion? You feel like you too dark? Who told you that? Those types of
Mm.
things are things I challenge myself with, and I have conversations,
That's
and
good.
I lean in,
Mhm.
and then I force myself out of my comfort zone. So, because being
Mm,
alone is already a lot. I told you I have 9 other siblings. I'm
The
not used to
silence.
being by myself. So
Huh?
being alone, and then being alone in another country, and then being alone in
mm,
another country where you don't speak the language, and then I'm a foodie. I
mm.
like to eat, and if it don't taste right, I'm like, y'all ain't got no season salt back there. Oh, don't worry about it. You keep that. I'm gonna go on back to the house because what? Like I gotta see these curves. What's going on? So all of those things forced me to get out and learn a different part of myself. And so I think that is one
That's
part
so
of my
good.
journey
Mm,
that I've been able to like help and find. And then the other part for me, which is a really, really big part, I am a daddy's girl through and through. Like me and my daddy are tight like spandex, right? Like we would be
mm.
coast and host like you and your mom are for a podcast. Absolutely. All day. And
Yes,
so
let's do
yes.
it.
And so I was his caregiver. And so when he transitioned, that was a huge
Mm,
my identity was tied up in him.
Mm.
So I had to
Mm.
rediscover who I was because he's not there.
mm,
And
Mhm.
I would always run to him
Yeah.
like, Daddy, am I supposed to? Should I? Well, how was I? Well, what do you
Mhm.
think? I went to FAMU because my father wanted me to go there. I majored in business because my
mm.
daddy wanted me to do that. I worked at the bank because that's where he told me to work at.
Oh.
So now I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what I like. I don't know what I do. I don't know where I'm at.
Mm.
So that also forced me to do those things and kind of choosing myself. Yeah.
Mm.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Thank you.
Do you have a question, Miss Tiffany?
I think it's actually amazing that you do take your solo trips to get to know yourself on a deeper level. And I felt you deeply when you stated when your father transitioned, you had to relearn and basically re identify who you were. And that was a big
Mhm.
milestone. And look at you
Yeah.
now. I mean, you look like you're in a great place, and a lot has actually happened since that. When did your father actually transition?
2 years ago, June 2023.
Okay.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot has taken
Yeah.
place in between that time. Was that when you actually started your solo
Yes.
trips? Okay.
So the funny part is I started my solo trip before that. The first like really big solo trip I went on happened. Speaking of types of relationships with this raggedy bum. Okay. He's
Come on
raggedy. You
through.
hear me? Rugged. And anyway, yeah, and it didn't work out. Okay. And I was like, okay, let me get up out of here. And I wasn't going to go because I'm so used to going with people and going kind of with the
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
flow and flexing for what they like. I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't been to Australia and I wanted to go to Australia and New Zealand. And I was waiting,
Me
waiting, and
too.
nobody came and it didn't work out. So I said, okay,
Mm.
I'm gonna go. So I went by myself. And that was my first
Sick.
time doing that like alone for a personal trip. I've done a lot of mission trips, but not a personal trip. And so
Okay.
that was
Mm.
my first time. But after my father transitioned, that was my longest time being gone because I was gone for 4 months. So that was my
Wow.
longest time being like out of the country, gone away by myself.
So how was that actual experience? 4 months away from your comfort zone.
Well, first I was ready to come home at the end of it. I was like, get me back to Tulsa ASAP, Rocky, please, right now. That was the first thing. I was like, yep, this is the earlier flight. I'll take it. Thank you. um, but it was beautiful because
Mm.
I learned a lot about my likes and my dislikes. I learned a lot about the way I
Mm,
Mm.
grieve.
Mm.
And I learned a
Mm.
lot about the way that I lead, like the type of leader that I am and the type of leader I want to be. And the
mm,
spaces that other people liked, I actually didn't like. I love Spain. I didn't. I wasn't like in love with it. Japan, oh my goodness. The way I live and love and breathe Japan was amazing. Okay. Had a great time in Japan,
Ooh.
great time
Yes.
in
Yes.
Portugal. London was cool. They food ain't talking about nothing, but it was cool, right? And I was like, okay,
Mhm.
and I knew somebody there. It was fun. It was friendly. Um, it was a
Mm.
lot, and really throughout that journey too, my relationship with the Lord shifted because I ain't gonna lie, I was hotter than fish grease at Jesus for a minute. I was like, this is what we
Mhm.
doing? We taking people daddies? Okay, cool. Okay, I thought we was
Mm.
closer than that.
Mm.
What's going on? Um, and it was I had to rebuild my relationship with him too, because I was not trying to
Mm.
talk to him. He was on that call waiting forever, playing with me. I was like, nope, straight to voicemail. I don't want to talk to you. And
Mhm.
so that it was very
That's true.
interesting timing. So yes, it is for real.
Wow. I love how authentic you
Hmm.
are articulating how you navigated such a transition in life. I
Yeah,
mean,
Yeah.
change happens and it will happen with and without us.
it sure will.
So the only thing we can do is move forward and navigate. And I love that you've been able to see the world. If everyone had, that one chance to see the world in the way that you have been able to, I feel like we wouldn't be so closed-minded in in our own way.
Yeah.
Right.
And looking around and experiencing someone else's daily life,
Yeah.
getting to their point of view.
Hmm.
I love how well
Absolutely.
rounded you are, and just that you've
Thank
been
you.
able to see the
Yes.
world, because I really want to see the world too. I
It's
have
beautiful.
only been to one place out of the country, so I'm ready to, fill
And
my
where did you
passport
go?
up.
Where was that place?
I went to Uganda on a mission trip
Okay.
in 2024, so that was
Yeah.
my only out of the country trip. But I'm a wanderlust. I don't know if you know what that is. Just
No, tell
somebody
me.
who loves. I'll let Miss Tiffany tell you the definition because I'm not 100% on that, but I know that I just love traveling and I'll do anything.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
not say anything.
Look,
I'll do what needs to be done to get on this flight, okay?
Right.
There we go.
get your work done. Yes. Okay. I love it. Love it. Love it.
Yes. Can you tell her
Okay.
what everyone listening and watching, can you tell her, Miss Tiffany, tell us what wanderlust is?
It is pretty much someone that loves to travel to see the world, to have different experiences. And when we think about wander, most people think it's a negative, but it's not. It's something that you strive, you crave to actually go and experience, and that's what you did. You are a wanderer. Like, you've been so many places. I don't know when you set out on your journey that you knew that you would be going different places and finding different portions of yourself or redefining yourself, but that
Right.
came about when you to take in the opportunity to travel and get to know yourself, because somehow places that we want to travel, a lot of time we find a connection there. Now, you spoke about a bunch of different places. Which one did you feel the most
Hmm.
connected to?
Ooh, good
Japan,
question.
which is hilarious.
Japan. I
Yes, and
can't
it's hilarious.
wait.
It's hilarious because not only am I much taller than them, I'm also much larger than them and much darker than them. So it's not easy. It's very
Mm.
easy to spot me like in a crowd. Um, and they are so like intrigued. And I had braids.
Uh-huh.
They was like, "Oh, look at this," and oh, it was a lot. It was but it wasn't done in it was done more in a curious way. They were very
Yeah.
curious,
Hmm.
and they really like our culture, as does every other culture, but they really love the African American culture or the African culture. And so they were really
Mm.
into it. But
Hmm.
I felt safe and I felt at home, and I was taking the train everywhere. I was walking around at night. I was at 7-Eleven
Hmm.
at 3 a.m. By every night because the time change is
Mm.
vast and it took me some
Mm.
days to catch up. Um,
Hmm.
oh, it was good. And then all of their food there is so healthy for you. So, oh, I just think about it. And the thing is that I could not communicate with 95% of those people. So even when I was in the
Mm.
restaurants, I would point, they would point, and then we come back to the checkpoint. And that was that. That was
Hmm.
it. But it was really good. It was phenomenal. Japan was really great. It was
Well,
fabulous.
my question for you,
Yes.
why do you think that Black women are conditioned to overfunction? I feel like women in general, yes, we are always stuck with this endless to-do list and to
Endless.
give and give and give to everyone and nothing for us.
Yeah.
So, why do you feel we are conditioned to overfunction?
So
People please.
I think specifically when I think about African Americans and I think about our um, past and our history, when you think
Mhm.
about us, how we showed up as slaves, whether you were a house slave or you were a field slave, you worked all
Mm.
day and then you had to come home and cook, clean things up, and then sleep, and then wake up and do it again. Right. And so I think for a lot of us, we've seen our grandmothers, our great grandmothers, my dear, Big Mama, mother doing all of it. And so you just
Mhm.
naturally kind of assume and
Do
take
all of
that
it. Yeah.
role, right? And
Ugh.
do too much.
Mm.
And we forget about the balance because we forget about ourselves. We don't include ourselves in that. I'm tired, but such and such need this for school tomorrow. So I got to get up and do this.
This need to be
Well, I'm
done.
wore out, but I didn't finish that report last week and I don't want no problem. So let me just work on the weekend to do it. And so
Mhm.
I think that one of the ways that has worked really well for me, so I was raised Muslim and Christian. So my father is Muslim, my mother is SDA, Seventh Day Adventist. And I went to Christian school and I went to Muslim school, and they allowed me to choose which one. And so me and my cousins all got baptized Seventh Day Adventist. And if you are not familiar with the faith, the main thing that I was bringing up in this context is that we take the Sabbath, just like Jewish people take the Sabbath. So Friday sunset to Saturday sunset is the Sabbath, which means my whole
Mhm.
world, everything shuts down. My computer shuts down. My phone is on do not disturb. Everything
I
is
love
down,
it.
right? So I
Mhm.
have a full day to just be in Christ, be in the bed, be in sleep, be in whatever, but I'm not in work. I'm not in nobody else's
Mhm.
business. I'm minding mine. I'm doing whatever needs to be done for that 24-hour period. Um,
Mhm.
and so because that was a part of my upbringing, it was easier for me to kind of create space and time. The funny part is that even though it's a Sabbath, you spend all day at church too. So I
Mm.
wake up the next morning. So it ends up feeling like work as well. Because I wasn't just showing
Mhm.
up as a member. I was on the board. I was the head of the youth department. I was also the assistant treasurer. Like it was a lot. And we had lunch and dinner and potluck
Yeah.
at my family's house. So it was a lot. It was
Mhm.
fulfilling and it was beautiful. So Sunday became the day to like, I gotta chill. But Sunday starts the week, right? So you gotta start all over
Mhm.
again.
Right.
And so I think that to answer your question more directly, I think that we have been conditioned because of what we've seen. I think we have been conditioned because of what we've been through. And I also
Mm.
think that we have been um, conditioned because there's a thought that if I don't do it, who will? And when other people try
Mm.
to do it, it's not the
Oh my
way
gosh.
we have it. So we're like, I'll just do it. Don't worry about it. I asked you
Oh
to
my
clean the bathroom, and
gosh.
if this is your version of clean, I'm not sure, friend. So let me go ahead and
Why are
take this.
you like talking about me right now? Why are you talking about me right now?
It is.
Oh.
It's the
Oh
truth.
my
Okay.
gosh.
I said,
It
oh,
is.
yep.
It
I
is.
said, well, no need to worry.
Thank you. Thank you for expounding on that because like you many things that you just stated, they're making me emotional because it's so true. It is the
Yeah.
truth. And the truth softens our heart. If you are open to talking a little bit more about how before, boundaries came into place and like growing
Yes.
up in the home with boundaries, were boundaries something you were was that in your life as a young person, before 18?
No, no, boundaries.
No. Okay.
Absolutely not. Boundaries were not. Now, boundaries were in place for me as the child with
Mhm.
my
Yeah.
parents and with the adults. Boundaries was not in
Mhm.
place if we're thinking about them in this context, right? I never
Mhm.
saw my mom not do the utmost. I never saw my father not. My father would wake up before the sunset, for the sun rose, and he would be back inside when the sun set. So by the time I opened my eyes and woke up, he had already done at least 10 things in his day,
Mhm.
right? He had handled his business.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
my mother, obviously, she was a mother, she's a pastor, and she was also a teacher, an educator, and really, really good at what she did. She was in the newspaper for things all the time. She does plays, she did a lot of different things. And so um, it was just always a lot. And there was never real rest. And there
Mhm.
definitely were not boundaries that I saw.
And while we're on boundaries, have you read the Boundaries book by Dr. Cloud?
It's just
Have you
called
seen that
boundaries?
one?
No.
Yeah, he has. I know he's revamped it, like got an updated version of the book, but the original book is just boundaries with like a pencil on the front. If you haven't read
Oh,
it, oh
yes.
yeah.
I know which
Have
book
you
you're
read it?
talking about. No, I have not read it. I've seen it. I just have not read it
Okay.
yet.
Oh, it's
No.
such a good read.
Okay.
Okay. What is your faith today?
Religion wise?
Yes.
Oh, I'm Seventh-day Adventist, Christian.
Okay. And I heard you mention that a few
Yes.
times before. Could you explain the 7 day? Because I'm trying to understand that
Yes.
a little more.
So there are a lot of different things within SDA. One of the main things, the reason why we are called Seventh Day is because in the
Seventh
Bible,
day.
it says that the Lord rested 6 days. He worked 6 days, and on the seventh day, he rested. Seventh day is the
Mm-hmm.
Sabbath. So the
Yes.
start of the week is Sunday. So the seventh
Right.
day is Saturday. So
Mm.
the Sabbath starts Friday sunset to Saturday sunset, which is a 24-hour period. And the
Mm-hmm.
Sabbath is on Saturday. And so that's why we are called Seventh-day
Mm.
Adventists. We are waiting on the advent of Christ. We do believe that he died
Advent.
and rose again.
Okay.
So we do believe that he
Okay.
died and rose again, and he will come back.
Yes.
Uh,
Indeed.
yes, we do believe in three in one. So the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We believe
Mm-hmm.
in baptism. We believe
Mm-hmm.
baptism by water, through water. So like we fully immerse
Yep.
you in the water and bring you up.
Right.
We believe in the entire Bible because it is to be
Uh-huh.
read in its entirety, from Genesis to Revelation.
Uh-huh.
Um, we also, if you ever saw a 60-minute interview, there was a 60-minute story, and it talked about the blue zones, like the people who live to like be 100 or more in different parts of the world based off of their eating habits, their diet. And so the only place in America was in Loma Linda, California, which is where the Seventh-day Adventist people are. And they were Seventh-day Adventist people, which is
Oh,
why they lived that long, because of our diet. So most Seventh-day
okay.
Adventists, let me not say most, a lot of Seventh-day Adventists are vegetarian. Um, and
Uh-huh.
even the ones that are not, if you think about Noah's Ark, a lot
Yeah.
of people kind of miss this sometimes in the story, but you know how there were two sets of the animals that came on Noah's Ark. There was male,
Mm-hmm.
female,
Right.
yes.
The male and the female.
So there were 7 sets of the clean meat. And
Mm-hmm.
people miss that because there's clean meat and then there's
Okay.
unclean meat. We only eat clean meat, which means I
Mm-hmm.
only eat fish with scales and fins. So I don't eat catfish.
Mm.
I don't eat any scavengers. We don't eat pork. There's lots of different things and different reasons for it. And
Yeah.
so that is a part of our faith. The reason that I said not a lot is because we are a world faith. And so wherever you go in the world and you go to a Seventh-day Adventist church, we will all be at the same point of our Sabbath school quarterly, which is what we read. And we all have
Mm-hmm.
service, kind of the order is the same.
Mm-hmm.
But some of my family is Caribbean, and Caribbean people, all of my family are not
Mm.
vegetarian. They just eat clean meat.
Mm.
So we would eat
Right.
curry goat quick.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and
I can see
so,
that.
yeah,
You
so
have
those,
Caribbean roots?
yes, so those are different, like we eat
Uh-huh.
different things. And so
Yeah.
yeah, and so you have that. Our faith was started by she's from Battle Creek, Michigan. And it
Mm.
is a woman, and so she has always said that she is the lesser light leading to the greater light. The greater light is the Lord, and she was the lesser light leading there. And
I
so
love that.
yeah, so there's and the beautiful thing I feel like about the SDA church to me is you can find wherever you fit and however extreme you want it to be. For example, my family they were not Seventh-day Adventists. I was not, that is not where they were from. And my parents, before they became that, were not that. So,
Mm.
we
Okay.
would go to the movies and we would go eat. There's a lot of Seventh-day Adventist people that don't do that. They don't go to the movies. I will wear a
Oh.
nice pantsuit to church. There's a lot of women who would not wear pants to church. I will put on my
Mm-hmm.
eyebrows and put on a little lip for the Lord, okay? For the ministry. There's people that won't do that. There's people that will come just as
Right.
they are, right?
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You see, I'm wearing
Right.
jewelry. A lot of SDA people don't wear jewelry. They don't do like there's a lot of things. So you can
Mm.
find your different variation and your group of people
Mm-hmm.
within the group, which is what I really
Gotcha.
like about it. And so my church, my home church, is Ephesus in Southern California, Los Angeles on Western,
Ephesus.
7005 Southwestern Avenue, is my church. And so, that's my family. And so they have really, our church is not typical in that we're like, she's a bad drummer too. And she's amazing and she's lesbian.
Mm.
We know that. She grew up in the church.
Mm-hmm.
That's her business. The Lord loves her still. And
Right.
so there's that. A lot of our elders are ex-gang members. Some of
Mm.
our deaconesses used to be drug addicts. Some of them used to sell drugs. Like there's a lot of variation in my church. And I love
Yeah.
that.
And
So
to
yeah.
that point, I
Yes.
love that. And I think every church should be full of people from all walks of life, because if you haven't
Yes.
gone through those ugly parts of life and its concept, how can God work on you? How can he use you to
Mhm.
show up in people's lives the way he wants you to, or he has planned for you to in their life? So thank you for giving us clarity on that, because there's so many options to choose from in the religion realm.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
so as we close out a little bit from the boundaries so we can move into toxic relationships specifically and the family estrangement, why, or let me say, why is clarity a form of care for you?
So, and piggybacking off of like the STA part
Mm-hmm.
and the relationship. So, first of all, I believe that anything with the Lord is more about a relationship than a religion. So, you have to invest and
Mm-hmm.
cultivate that relationship so that you can hear to have the clarity that you need to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
When I think about clarity, um, and it being a form of self care, for me, the way it has shown up is one, I have to first know what it is that I want and know what I want without boundaries. Because we will put boundaries on ourselves and then put boundaries on Christ and then be mad that we don't get it. I don't put
Okay.
boundaries
Okay.
on
Okay.
anything. So even if it's something wild, like, Lord, I want to fly up to the mountain over there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care that it hasn't been done. I don't care that it doesn't make sense. That's what I want. You asked me what I wanted. This is what I want. Right. So being very clear about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would
Mm-hmm.
say that
Okay.
I feel that that scares people sometimes because we will talk
Mm.
ourselves out of what we want and what we need because we don't think we can have it or get it or whatever. So, and I'm like, nope, I can and I want it and I will. And this is where what I do over that month-long time when I'm by myself, I write these things out and I just am very clear
Mm.
with what it is that I want. The reason why I
Mm.
also feel like the clarity is self-care and it relates to like to boundaries is because my friends know that my Sabbath starts Friday sunset to Saturday sunset. They know what that means for me, and which means that know
Mm-hmm.
what they mean, how they need to show up for me. So either you're going to show
And
up,
how do they
and
show up?
so a lot of them already know. They don't invite me out. They're like, "Oh, it is your Sabbath. I forgot." Okay. They'll when I answer the phone, they'll be like, "Happy Sabbath. What you doing?" I'm like, "You know what I'm doing." Okay. I want to come over with and read this or watch this or do that. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that. Right. Um, they most of the time, some of them don't even call me, which is fine, right? They'll
Mm-hmm.
call me after sunset and be like, I was waiting for the sun to set. Girl, let me tell you, no, right? And so it's a whole thing, right? And so I
I
think that
love that.
if we teach people how to treat us, that
Uh-huh.
is the form of the boundary and the clarity. And I also
Ooh.
think, lastly, I will say with the clear part of it is that when we are clear, we don't waver. So in my clarity,
Mm.
I don't just say, well, this time I'm celebrating this, or we're not doing things on the Sabbath, but next time I won't. No, I'm very clear. I don't waver, because in the wavering creates the murkiness, which is then not
Mhm.
clarity, which then creates confusion.
Mm.
And so now people don't know how to
Mm.
show up. They don't know what you do. Well, last time you said this time you're saying that. I don't know what this means.
Mhm.
And I put myself on my to-do list, literally, and I put myself in
Mhm.
everything. And I listen
Eh.
to myself and my body. So there are times where I don't eat meat because my body is like, boo, we at the capacity. This is a bit much. I'm like, okay, you're right.
Mhm.
I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna step back. Okay,
Mm.
let's fast till whatever day. Okay, let's walk Duke
Mhm.
an extra mile today. Let's do
Mhm.
whatever else. Okay, right? I am very clear in my goals. I don't always know how to get there, but I'm very clear in what I want to achieve. And so,
Mhm.
and that includes personal and professional. So if I'm clear that I want to lose 50 pounds, I know that this
Mhm.
is my goal.
Mhm.
Everything I do either is in service to it or disservice of it. So
Mhm.
me eating this extra whatever else, is that in service to the goal you said you wanted, or is disservice? Okay, you're right. And what we are not changing, we are choosing. So if I'm choosing it,
Mm.
I shouldn't really have a lot to say about it because I chose it. So
Exactly.
those are some of the things that I would say around clarity and boundaries.
Beautiful. That was very enlightening to what you said about how we teach people how to treat us.
Mhm.
That is my last question for you
Yes.
around the boundaries.
Yes.
How do you teach people how to treat you?
So I teach people well, first you have to teach yourself how to treat yourself. So I
Mm.
know that I love a good, warm, cozy bed, and I like to get dressed up. I like to eat. I like movies, right? And so
Mhm.
I don't wait until I get a man or I'm in a relationship with somebody to do these things for me. If I want to go to Bull in the Alley, which is a steakhouse here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I'm gonna go to Bull in the
Mhm.
Alley. If I want to go to Mastro's or Prime or whatever, I'm gonna take myself there. And I'm not gonna take
Mhm.
myself there looking crazy because I wouldn't look crazy for anybody else. So I'm gonna look crazy for myself. I'm showing up. Okay, I'm gonna put this lash on.
Oh,
I'm gonna get it.
accountability.
And there it is. There it is right there.
There it
And
is.
so that is one way that's where I start. The second thing that I do
Okay.
when I'm teaching someone how to treat me is, once again, not wavering on the things that we say value or matter to us. So if I am in a car and I'm on a date,
Mm.
I will sit in that car until he comes around to the door. If he don't come around to the door, I won't be getting out the car. If I'm getting out the car, I'm getting out the
Mhm.
car to get in my car and I'm gone. Right. So
Right.
that right. So that is one way. And the thing is that when we are teaching somebody something, as a former teacher, I teach them in the way that they
Mm.
learn best. So if they are a
Mhm.
visual learner, I will
Learning
show them.
styles.
If they are an auditory learner, I will tell them. If they are a kinesthetic learner, let's do it together. If they are all of the above, we're going to do all of it. Right.
Mm.
Because I want you to understand that when I say 5 p.m. is when the sun sets and my laptop and everything else sets, that means I
Mhm.
cannot answer the phone. I cannot respond to that last email because that's me
Mhm.
wavering now, and now it gets murky.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
those are some of the ways and the things that I would say on teaching people how to treat you. Um,
Mm.
and I will say that it's going to
Yes.
come with its own set of difficulties. It's going to be sad. It's going to be lonely. You're going to be like, ugh, because everybody's not going to be receptive, right? And that's
Right.
okay. You don't want
That's
the people
okay.
that aren't receptive. You want the ones that are. So
Right.
that is some of the things that I would say around that.
So family estrangement and toxic relationships, choosing yourself. Why did you say family first isn't always healthy? A lot of us, especially in the Black community, are told, look, blood is thicker than water, and, you know, the guilting, the guilt tripping, and a part of that's some of what that Dr. Cloud, the Boundaries book, you got to read that, Jameelah.
Okay,
It's
I'm
such a
gonna
good
have
read.
to.
Whenever guys like this is the season for that book, it's so good because they use scripture. It's woven throughout that whole book. I mean, that is
Mm-hmm.
that. So, family first.
So when I think about family, and as an African American person, it's difficult sometimes to lean into this in that way. But
Mm-hmm.
family is a title. That's like the
True.
title of a book is boundaries.
Right.
Somebody's title is Dr. X, Y, and Z, right? The way
Uh-huh.
that you show up and engage with me can make that title become truth, or it can just be a title. So
Mm-hmm.
just because you are my sister
Okay.
by birth does not mean that I have to take your foolishness. That's just not how that's
Right.
going to work, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
because, and this is where it gets real rough for African Americans, just because you my mama or my daddy don't mean I have got to continue to take this, right? Because the thing
Mm-hmm.
is, if you are checking in with yourself consistently, when I
Mm-hmm.
walk away from situations, I walk away and I sit in the car for several minutes and I ask myself how I felt. I reflect on that time. I reflect
Mm-hmm.
on it on my way there. Am I feeling nervous? Am I feeling anxious? Why? Is there something tight? Am I feeling butterflies? Am I feeling excitement? What is the reason
Mm-hmm.
for that?
Yeah.
And if it is because I truly don't feel safe with this person, then baby, no matter what their title is, you gotta go. You
Mm-hmm.
deserve to be safe. You deserve to feel safe. You deserve security.
Mm. Mm.
And I believe that
Mm-hmm.
it starts with family first because family is the hardest to set the boundaries with. Once you can do it with them, the
Yes.
others can fall in line or get left behind. It's real easy. You
Uh-huh.
creating boundaries with your mama or your daddy or your grandpa or your brother is a whole nother conversation. Okay, it is
Mm-hmm.
very difficult because of what you said. There's
Yes.
guilt, but then in our culture, respect is the ultimate thing. I know Aretha talked about it, but y'all ain't heard for real because respect is like number one for us. If you were disrespectful, there's a whole nother situation that's going on. So boundaries can often look like disrespect in our
Mm.
in our culture.
Uh, okay. That part.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I am
It's
respecting
not.
myself just
Mm-hmm.
like I am respecting
Self-respect.
you. That's it.
Right.
And in the
Mm.
respect, that means that when I am feeling disrespected, I need to walk out of the disrespect and into the respect. And if that respect is in my car, then it's in my car and I'm gone. If it's escorting you to the door because it is your time to leave, it is your time to
Mm-hmm.
leave. There are
Mm.
just things that you have to get to a place where you are wanting whatever peace looks like to you. And honestly, it's not even just peace, it's whatever you want. Some people don't want peace. Some people want
Mm-hmm.
it to be loud, to be around a lot of people. That's great. Whatever that
Mm-hmm.
looks like for you, I invite you to
Mm-hmm.
lean into that. And so
Mm. Mm-hmm.
that is where and why I say family first, because family is often the most difficult thing to put
Right.
boundaries around. But everything stems from family. Everything
That
else,
is true.
the way you look at you, the way you talk to others, the way you show up in spaces, the way you treat people, the way you talk to people, everything shows up that way. The way you feel disrespected, it might be disrespectful for somebody to walk into your bathroom and wipe their hands on your good decorative towels that you like, this is decorative, and I put the thing around it so that you didn't, what is you doing? There's paper towels right there. But in their
Mm.
culture, that may
Mm-hmm.
have been respectful, right? Like these are things
Right.
that it's very interesting. But that's why I say family first, because I found that family is the most difficult to deal with first.
100%. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I recently had a growth opportunity to set boundaries with a family member, and I recall this nervous feeling. I was nervous, and I just that sick feeling that sits at the bottom of your stomach. I mean sick, like throw up sick. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Like, just that fear. And I think that's what fear feels like. That sick feeling at the bottom of your stomach. So after I got through that uncomfortable just mess, I was like, I felt more confident. I was like, okay, you did that. You can do it. So I love how you, in the very beginning of this conversation, you started off and said, you put yourself out there in the uncomfortable space, because I believe personally, until we get out of our comfortability, we can't grow. And you said so many good points, just about moving forward and getting out of our own way. I just love the way you approach getting out of your own way and making sure that regardless, I'm going to take care of what I need to take care of for myself. And that's a learning process for us all.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about building the chosen family. And sometimes we start with our given family at birth, and even those that we acquire, and they may hurt us, and then you grow to this space of this is life. People get hurt, but how do you move forward after being hurt by the people we thought we could trust, into building that chosen family?
So, how I move forward with the people that I can trust. So, first, I trust you until you give me a reason not to trust you. And when
Yeah.
you give me a reason not to trust you, I analyze it just like I would do when I was at the bank, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, this person is late on this payment and behind. How often have they been late or behind in the past? How often have they
Mm-hmm.
missed payments? Okay, is this not typical of their character? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let me extend some more grace. Let's have a conversation. Their intention, I'm sure, was not that, despite that the impact was, right? So let me talk to them. Let me spend some time with them. And then there are other people that's like, now I can be mad the first time, but this is the third time, Jameelah. So really it's on you, boo. Why you keep engaging with this person and you notice the way they show up? And you don't like this, and your feelings is hurt, and you feel away, or you feel crazy afterwards. Why do you keep going back to them? What is that about? Um,
Mm.
and
Mm.
so, right. And so
Mm.
this is where, but this also is where one, I go back to my family, because a lot of times it's because this is the way I showed up with my parents. So this to me, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to feel like this. I'm supposed to feel crazy, right? This is how I feel every other time. And it's like, no, you're
Mm.
not supposed to feel that way. And so
Mm-hmm.
there
Mm.
are things where I have to check other people, and other times I have to check myself, right?
Yeah.
But if I feel like I have to step out of who I am or change who I am to either
Mm-hmm.
approach you, deal with you, be around you, then I have to really have a deep, clear conversation with myself about why I continue to engage in
Mm-hmm.
whatever that is. And so I would say that is the way that I approach it. And I am not the cut off person. I'm not the, oh, I don't ever have to, whatever. Now, will I not talk to you? I will absolutely not. I'll be like, hey, girl, be blessed. Talk at you later.
Mm-hmm.
My level of engagement depends on what it was, how you did, and what I have summed it up to. So if you've
Mm-hmm.
always been like this, I realize I have to step back. And the way I
Mm-hmm.
show up is different, because this is who you are. And I don't want to change you. I want you to continue to be who you are. And in you being who you are, I must also be who I am. And this is not how I am. So we can be
Mm.
associates. We can be coworkers. Hey, girl, hey, that's cool. Beyond that, I have to put the period and not the comma there, because I have to go to the next line. I got
Mm.
to move past it. So
Mm.
those are some of the ways and some of the things that I have done, and like how I've shown up in that space.
Mm. Wow. A new question I have as we come
Yes.
to an end of this fabulous chat. You're an educator.
Yes.
How have you, so as we all know, you go to school, you spend a lot of time at school once you get to that school age. How do you, I guess, help children, or the children you have taught,
Mhm.
to set boundaries and respect others' boundaries? That's not your job, but I feel like if you're at this place for such a long time, it will eventually happen, right?
Mhm.
And there will be a event where you might have to iterate this to a child or children.
Mhm. So the way that I do that is I don't teach them where I want them to be. I teach them where they are. So I come to where they are and what works best for them. For example, if there's a boundary where there's a student that keeps taking stuff off the other student's desk, or the other person keeps touching the other student, or what have you, and the student is like getting irritated, like, can you stop? I will talk to that student and I would say, remember when XYZ happened and how you felt? Yeah, Miss J, I ain't like that. I don't know why he was doing da 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 da. And so if you don't like it, then why do you feel like it's okay to make other people feel that way? What do you mean, Miss J? I'm not doing that. Well, he's uncomfortable. He doesn't like you to do that. And you keep doing that. So you are doing that. Talk to me about why. Oh, my bad. I didn't even know. Why he ain't say nothing? But why did he have to say something? You could have noticed it, just like I noticed it, right? You could have just not touched him at all, and we wouldn't even be here. So talk to me about why you felt like, nah, I was just trying to figure out what's going on. I needed the pencil. He the homie. I was just trying to. Okay. So talk to me about how you want to move forward with this. My bad, homie. I didn't mean to do blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay, it's cool. All right, Miss J. Well, next time you will what? Well, I'm going to come to you because you have pencils. You got mad pencils. Yeah, that's what they're up here for. You can come and get my pencil anytime, right? You can there's sharpen pencils in there. You did not need to get his pencil. You also did not need to touch him at all, right? And so those are some of the ways that I do, but I often do more of, I ask a lot of questions. I'm a question person. So I will ask you questions because you have what you need to get to your answer. I'm not always going to be there if something crazy happens in your life to like guide you. So I need you to ask yourself these questions and then decide the way forward. So I ask a lot of questions and then I allow them to get to their own answer. And I always say, see, I knew you could do it. I knew you had it in you. Appreciate you. Talk to you later. Just keep moving forward, right? I don't make them feel bad. I don't have them linger in that feeling. I'm just like, okay, it's resolved. Let's keep moving. So yes, that's how I've kind of helped my students that.
Wow. You sound like a fabulous teacher and a teacher that
Thank you.
very much would have appreciated growing up in the school system. Oh, that's a whole nother can of worms. But I'm so glad you were able to make time in your busy schedule to come onto the Sweet Taboos podcast. We definitely appreciate your time here. And the last thing, what do you want to leave with our listeners and viewers today?
Well, first, but before I say that, I just want to say thank you, Miss Tiffany, for your grace with me. I was technically supposed to do this a while ago, and time got away from me, and I got caught up with some other things, and I was not able to do it. So I want to publicly say I apologize and also say thank you for your grace. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you. And so leading into something I want to leave, the first thing I would say within that is always be humble, right? Live and stay and lean into humility. You don't have to, and if you stay in your lane, there will be no traffic.